Hello and welcome to the Court Case Podcast. My name is James Court.
And my name is Tegan.
After a long time and a long break, we're finally back with a new episode. We've got a jam-packed show for you today. After many requests, we're finally going to be going in depth into the Phillip Schofield debacle. I know that a lot of people have asked for us to talk about it.
Yes.
We're also going to be getting into a brand new segment called The People's Verdict. We've got some really good courting with James. All of that is coming up right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Court Case. I know that it's been a while. How are you all?
Hope you're all good, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we've been away for so long. It's just that life for us has been just a bit topsy-turvy.
Yeah, I must say, my hand is a little bit heavier since we last released an episode.
Is it? Why is that, T? Why don't you tell us a story?
I've been proposed to.
I was kind of hoping that you would, know, tell the story and then get into that.
I shall get into
also,
this.
could you step away from the mic when you're going to laugh so loudly?
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
Good.
So James told me that he needs to take me on a surprise. Well, he's going to take me on a surprise trip back in April. He told me this. No, you would have told me in like February, I believe, and the trip was in April. That was it.
Yes.
I was working at my previous airline at the time. I'm now with a new airline. That's a whole other story to update you on. And I was working the dates that he needed me to go on this surprise trip. So,
terrible stuff.
So basically ended up being extremely poorly. So I couldn't go to work. And then, so James took me away.
Wink with that. You weren't actually sick.
Yeah, I hope people got that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, then, woke up in the morning. James was like, come on, we're going on the train, blah, blah, blah. I had no idea where we're going. And he told me like rough idea of like clothes to pack and stuff. I had no idea if I was going abroad, if I was like going just to London. Like I had no idea.
I don't think you thought you were going abroad.
I didn't really think I was going abroad. Like obviously I thought, it would be pretty cool if he's taking me abroad, but I didn't think that he would, actually take me abroad. And me, being a little snooper that I am, trying to see if he's moved or taken my passport out of my work bag, and it wasn't in there. So, but then he told me, don't go snooping about. If you think I've taken your passport, I've just taken it anyway. I was like, right, okay, well.
To purposely throw her off the scent. That's what my excuse was.
It was very smart for a man to think of that. Well done, James. Very clever of you to have said that. Very quick on your feet there, I must say. Anyway, I will get to the story. We get to St Pancras station, and he's like, oh, come this way, we're getting on the Eurostar to Paris. I thought he was pulling my leg. Turns out he wasn't. Showed me the tickets. Off we are. We're going to Paris. We're in Paris for like just, I think, like 36 hours, like a day and a half or something.
Yeah,
it was lovely. Got a really nice balcony with a view. Went to see Eiffel Tower sparkling at night. In the morning, we woke up bright and early. Went up to the Grand-Cœur church.
Sacré-Cœur.
Oh, what did I say?
Grand-Cœur.
Sorry, Sacré-Cœur church. And he got down on one knee. And we are now recording this episode as fiancés.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Pretty cool.
Yeah. How do you feel about it? Are you happy?
No, I just said yeah because why the fuck not? No other offers.
Well, you certainly didn't do it for the money.
That's true.
Yeah, so that is one thing that's been going on. So we're extremely happy about that.
So we've been chilling with that for the time being. Obviously, I mentioned I've started a new job, so I've been doing like a training course for that, and it's now long haul. I was doing short haul, so I'm like actually getting off the plane now and doing trips away and seeing places, so that involves me being away from home, so we can't record as much.
And my work has taken a very severe change in how it is. I'm doing mostly freelance now. I've still got 2 other podcasts. I'm still doing the Search for the Soulful Leader, and one coming out in the first week of July with Robert Shaw Cameron of Coronation Street and Jack Loxton of Dear Evan Hansen on the West End.
Yeah, he's in there now. That's pretty cool.
So I'm doing a podcast for those guys, which is really fun, about acting and sport. So I'm still doing those, but I'm also
You got
looking
to brag
for...
about where he took you as well. Where did he take you after
Soho House?
Yeah, well, who met at Soho House?
Yeah. So I had a meeting the other week with Robert Shaw Cameron. We were discussing podcast stuff, and he's like, "Oh, come meet me at Soho House." It's a really nice place in London. It's sort of like this sort of like private members thing where people can go, and there's like food and drink, and you can hang out and stuff like that. And then I went and told my mum about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's a celeb hangout spot." Bloody. Who was it? It was
Prince Harry, wasn't it?
Prince Harry met Meghan there.
Yeah,
was that it?
Yeah. I think that was it. Yeah,
and I was like,
pretty cool because you only need you need a membership to get in, don't you?
Yeah, you do, or you have to be like sponsored. So like Robert had to say that I was
sponsor
coming.
you. Yeah. So
Pretty
weird, so cool.
Cool. So yeah, no, that's going good. But I'm looking for other podcasts to produce. I need to be making more. So. You know, if you're listening and you need one done, call me up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Drop us a message, drop an email, courtcasepodcast@gmail.com.
That's the one,
yeah. Yeah, let us know. Also, side note, if you can hear the fan in the apartment in the background, we do apologise. It's not been turned off. It's too bloody hot in our flat. We're top floor flat in the middle of Brighton, in the middle of a heat stroke. So
in the middle of a heat stroke?
What is that? Heat stroke? What?
Heat wave.
Oh, that sounded so right to me in my brain. I was like, "What? Why are you judging?"
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, heat wave. That's the one. This is what I mean. I've got heat stroke because I'm saying the wrong things.
Yeah.
There we go.
But while we've been away, there have been people saying, "Where's the podcast? Where are you guys?"
And everyone has said, "I can't believe you haven't just found the time to do a Phillip Schofield episode."
Yeah.
So here it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is us finding the time. A lot of people in my training course found out that I had a podcast. Which I've realised I'm a very awkward person when people are talking about my podcast and stuff that I'm on and they're playing it out loud in front of me. What are you doing? Turn it off. Like, so awkward.
Your job actually comes into play in one of the segments, one of the new ones that is going to come in later. So we will get to that. But people have been egging us on to the Phillip Schofield one. I assume now people are going to ask us to do a submarine one.
Oh, probably. I mean, we can get recording that when I get back from my trip. I mean, we want to get on it quick now. I mean, Phillip Schofield one is a bit slow.
The thing with the submarine one is I'm actually hesitant to do it because out of all of the news stories, that was the one where everyone seems to be like really in depth know about it.
True.
So I'm kind of like, do we need to do one because everyone knows all the information that I'm going to
find?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, this Phillip Schofield one is slow though. We're doing it probably at a time where people don't care about it anymore now because the submarine one is happening.
But I still think it could be interesting because I've gotten some information.
We're just giving the people what they want, James.
Yeah, and I've gotten all the information on his brother as well.
Oh yeah, juicy.
And so we're going to judge them both, and we're going to have a good verdict, and we're going to dive straight into it. It's going to be the first topic right off the bat. Let me find my research. So. We've covered some people on this show. We've covered Jimmy Savile. I think we've done him. Yeah,
Jimmy Savile.
And obviously he was a diddler. And we've covered some serial killers. Mm-hmm. Charles Manson.
Yeah.
You know. But who could be worse than Charles Manson and Jimmy Savile?
Do not say Phillip Schofield.
No, they are worse than Phillip Schofield. Do
you know what?
By a country mile.
Yeah.
But anyway, Philip. Did you know what his middle name is?
You did tell me. Oh, Brian.
Yeah, Philip Brian Schofield. And
James found this interesting because he doesn't look like a Brian, but no one looks like their middle name, I would say.
I think what I meant was Brian doesn't seem like a middle name. Who thinks of Brian as a middle name?
That's true.
It's also spelled with a Y, not an I.
Okay, that's dumb.
Yeah, born in April 1962. He is an English television presenter for any of the... Oh, that's another thing. If you're an American audience, our audience is 50-50. They're not going to fully know about this. So this is going to be news to all of them, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you're American, You've probably gone on Netflix, some of you, and watched the Jimmy Savile documentary. I remember Ethan from the H3 podcast watched it, and he'd never heard of Jimmy Savile, and he was like, what is up with England and all of their pervs? And I was like, well, we've got another one for you now, Ethan.
There's more.
Phillip Schofield. So Phillip Schofield is famous for This Morning, Dancing on Ice, and The Cube, presenting those.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he did that.
Other things. I've also got, he is also famous for diddling.
Do not diddle, kids. It's no good diddling, kids.
There's a bit of Frank Reynolds there with a nice song that Philip should have listened to. So he is dual British and New Zealand. Did you know that? He's got a citizenship for both of them.
That's pretty cool, though.
That's very interesting. I mean, it's not going to do him any good in prison. But
No.
Is he going to prison?
I don't know. I thought that's the kind of research you would have done, James.
Yeah, he married his partner, Stephanie Lowe, in March 1993.
Right.
He met her when he was 25 and working at Children's BBC.
Of course.
Where she was a production assistant. And they have 2 daughters together, Molly and Ruby.
Who have since changed their surnames.
Have they?
Yeah, they're not Schofield anymore.
Are they Lowe's?
They're Lowe's now.
Ah, I see.
Yes.
Right. So, on the 7th of February 2020, Phillip Schofield came out as gay via a statement posted on Instagram stories. Obviously,
and they
the
also,
best place to come out.
Yes, and they also did a episode on it. Well, not on it, but they did like a segment on it on This Morning, didn't they?
He came out on Instagram, and then afterward they did a segment. It was all very, very serious.
It was very scripted.
Even though my mum was watching it, going, "I always knew he was gay. I always
She did not.
knew." Yeah, that's what she said.
How?
Because she was just like, "I've always suspected it, James. I always knew he was gay." That's what she said.
How? I don't think I've heard anyone say that. He's a married man with kids.
I know, but right, I've got this written here, actually, right? So, in that interview with This Morning, he stated that with the strength and support of my wife and daughters, I've been coming to terms with the fact that I am gay. That's what he said. And I've put as a nice fact here. When a gay man marries a woman, that woman is referred to as his beard. Did you know that?
Beard?
On the street, that's what it's called, yeah. So if a gay man is marrying a woman to hide the fact that he's gay, that woman is called his beard, because like a beard hides what's underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, so Stephanie Lowe is his beard, basically.
Right, okay.
You see? And, that's one thing. That's one thing that upsets me about all of this, because I've seen posts on, I've seen relationship advice posts on Reddit about it and things like this. All of the grooming aside, right? He's come out as gay, and obviously, it takes a lot to come out as gay, and it's a big thing. I mean, it's less nowadays because homosexuality is a lot more accepted, apart from in certain religions and circles and parts of the world. But in Western society, it's a lot more accepted. And the fact, it strikes me as really unfair on the wife that he's hidden his homosexuality for this long. Her marriage essentially has been a sham. She's wasted all of this time.
But do we know
with her
that?
husband.
But do we know that? Do we know that maybe she knew the whole time? We don't know that.
Oh, she may well have done.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Even if that's the case, for Philip's reputation, she's had to keep up appearances from him instead of having a relationship with a straight man. And
she may have on the side.
Yeah, maybe, possibly, but this is going beside my point. My point is that it's not fair. Obviously, you should live your true self, and if you're gay, you should come out as gay, and you should be able to be safe to live the life that you want to live and love who you want to love. That is 100% important. So he should never have married her. He should have just been single, and either been single and been in the closet, or single and been out and done whatever he needed to do. But he shouldn't have married her and wasted half her life. And also, what sucks in these situations was because I read a story on Reddit about a woman whose husband came out as gay, and she was like, I was just expected to support him, and no one was there for me. And my marriage had ended. I didn't have a husband anymore. I was on my own. We were getting divorced. And because he needed all of the support because he was gay, I had none for me. And I was sad and alone and depressed.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not fair.
Yeah, that is really shit.
So, I think people need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually think it's like really common.
No,
James.
I don't think so. And I think it's less common nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think that was mean of Philip.
Yeah, it is mean of Philip. This whole thing is bloody mean of Philip.
Yes.
It's not a nice person.
Yeah. And here's something interesting, actually, after this next fact. So, Schofield and Lowe have separated, after which he moved out of the family home in Oxfordshire and moved to Chiswick in London. Have you ever been to Chiswick, Sweet Tea?
No, I've never been to Chiswick.
Well, don't go. There's a groomer there. Do you reckon he had to go and knock on everyone's doors?
I don't think that. I think that's only an American thing.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. As of June 2023, so as of this month, Schofield and Lowe are still legally married, and he continues to wear his wedding ring.
Right. Does he? Why?
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what are we meant to do with that information?
This is where the plot thickens. In April 2023, Schofield's brother Timothy Schofield was found guilty of sexual offences against a teenage boy.
Mm-hmm.
Small teenage boy. That's what that reminded me of. That guy on TikTok.
Oh my god, yeah. What's his name?
His name's Sam's Taylor.
Sam's Taylor.
And he's
oh my
this,
god, he's so funny.
Middle Eastern man on TikTok that runs a tailor shop, and he does these videos of customers in the suits they fitted, and the way he describes them and touches them.
What's
so
his
funny.
best? His best one's like, little white men scurry to me like rats.
They scurry to me like rats to get into one of my suits, and then he turns around and he points at their bums,
and then he
like,
goes, he's legal.
yeah, and he's legal. He's like, those two mountains packaged in my 4D print. He says, doesn't he?
Oh gosh.
Very funny. Anyway, so Timothy Schofield has been convicted of 11 sexual offences involving a child between October 2016 and October 2019, including 2 of sexual activity with a child. He worked for Avon and Somerset Police as an IT worker.
Oh my god. So he had full access.
Yeah. He watched pornography with a boy who insisted he was over the age of 16.
Wait, so he watched pornography with a 16-year-old boy?
With a
or
boy.
Of a 16-year-old boy?
He watched pornography with a boy, and
Right.
Timothy insisted the boy was over 16, but
He wasn't.
I don't think he was,
Right.
no. But yeah, he sat down with the boy.
Even
watched
so,
pornography with him.
even if he was over 16, what are you doing
Yeah, still.
with a 16-year-old boy watching pornography?
It's extremely sus, yes.
It's very strange.
As the kids say, yeah. As that boy probably said. Schofield's victim said he felt numb to life following the abuse, adding, I often felt panic, stress and fear. I felt like I was trapped in a loop of fear and anxiety of the abuse happening again. He said it was only after Timothy Schofield's arrest that he felt safe and felt free to be happy.
Aw.
Yeah, I know. During the trial, jurors heard that Schofield told his older brother, Phillip Schofield, in September 2021 that he and the victim had watched pornography together. Phillip did not report this to the police.
Fucking hell. Of course he didn't.
After Timothy's conviction, Phillip stated, as far as I'm concerned, I no longer have a brother. Now, I'm going to give a slightly... I don't know if this is going to be in slightly unpopular opinion or not, but obviously what Timothy Schofield did is despicable and he needs to be in jail for a long, long time. But I think that Philip should have said something like, my brother, deserves punishment and he needs to be incarcerated and rehabilitated. I think saying I no longer have a brother seems a bit safe-facey.
I agree. And also what's weird about that, I don't have a brother anymore. If you don't have a brother anymore, if you're going to go down that route, then you can report him, no?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason why you wouldn't have reported him.
There you go. You phrased it how I was trying to phrase it. If this is so bad that he's willing to drop his brother like
Yeah, exactly.
why didn't he drop his brother when he first heard about it in September 2021?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then reported him. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Weird.
just think that's very, very strange.
Just covering his tracks.
Yes, yeah. So we've got Timothy Schofield there, who's now been arrested. So he's got a brother who sexually sexually assaults minors, and we've possibly got Phil being a groomer. But there is something, well, we know he's a groomer, but there's something that I want to bring up just before we discuss him being a groomer. And that is the fucking queue jumping thing that happened.
This was the first controversial thing that happened before all of this came out, wasn't it? Or was this after he was gay?
It was after he came out as gay.
Okay. But before all of this.
But it was before all of this.
Yeah.
Although he had been spotted in the restaurant with the boy in that video.
But nothing really came of it, did it?
No. But basically, so Americans or people from other countries watching, obviously you know that our Queen died, was it November?
I think so.
Sometime like that. And then when she died, you could go and visit her coffin. And there was a queue, one of the longest queues that I think possibly there's ever been.
Miles and miles long.
People were waiting for hours.
Someone said that they waited a whole day or something.
Yeah, for so long to go and see the Queen. I don't get why people did it. I had no interest in doing it. It wasn't even open casket, so you weren't going to see anything.
Not that you would have wanted to have seen open casket anyway.
I know, but
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, how crazy would that have been if it was open casket?
Yeah, exactly. But many people waited in that queue to pay respect to the Queen. Many celebrities waited in the queue, such as David Beckham.
Mm-hmm.
He waited the whole time in the queue. There are others, but
next
I
to
don't remember.
members of the public.
Yeah, next to members of the public. Now, Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby, hosts of This Morning, they were seen just skipping the entire queue and going to see the Queen's coffin and then leaving, and it caused a huge uproar in the UK.
Massive.
This was in the middle of or on the back end of COVID and everything, so the country had other things to worry about.
Yep.
But
this was everywhere.
Yeah, but the country, everyone came together. If you were on the left or you on the right, if you were young, if you were old, you all came together and hated these two.
There was no one. There was no one that was in support of what they did.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
And they came out with these excuses. They were like, it was a film segment that we were going to do on This Morning. That film segment never came out.
Nope.
There were no cameras following them when they went to the thing. There was no film segment. They went on This Morning and were like, the reason we jumped the queue is because we were filming a segment for This Morning, and the segment never showed.
Yeah.
So on that show that it was supposed to be on, they were like, no, it was for this.
I don't know if they didn't show it because of the controversy, but surely because of the controversy you should have showed it.
Yes,
know?
Exactly. I don't think there was ever
never,
intention to film
exactly.
it. Yeah, I think they were just being selfish and stupid. When you've got people more famous than you, like David Beckham. David Beckham is known worldwide. They are known Britain-wide. And he stood in the queue the whole time.
Yeah.
Then you should be ashamed of yourself.
Imagine if you were standing next to David Beckham on your way to go and see the Queen's.
That'd be pretty cool, especially with how long the line is. You're basically spending 24 hours.
You can chat to that man.
Yeah, I know.
You can ask him so many. I mean, he probably wouldn't be up for answering. But where did these people sleep as well?
Actually, I think he would be, because he's going to be there for a long time. He probably is going to get bored. He'll probably have some chats with people.
Oh yeah, but also if you're standing next to him and you're a massive fan and you're taking selfies and asking him every question under the sun, he's probably going to be shut the fuck up now. But also, where are these people sleeping that were waiting 24 hours?
I think they just didn't. They just didn't sleep.
Jesus
they just stayed
Christ.
awake. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring out that. So he's already got a bad reputation.
Before all
of
this came out.
Before all of this happens. So I've got a timeline of events here. We've got Phil first meets younger lover. So Philip first met the male colleague he later had an affair with during a visit to the 15-year-old school when he was in his 40s. So he was 15. Philip was in his 40s.
Disgusting.
Do the quick maths, team.
25. I've already done it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well done. The former This Morning presenter is said to have been invited to give a talk at the theatre school in the northwest of England in 2011. According to the Mail on Sunday, Schofield came across as enthusiastic, encouraging, and generous with his time. The schoolboy asked the This Morning presenter for a job, with Schofield promising to arrange an interview at an appropriate time. Now, they exchange first tweets. In the same year, Phil's future colleague made his first Twitter account, tweeting the presenter at Scof, "Hey Philip, thanks for following me. How are you?" There was no reply from Phil. In 2014, the teenager made another Twitter account after turning 18. Phil tweeted him saying, "Hey, welcome back. How's the acting going? Got the big break yet?" The drama student...
Sorry, why are they doing this publicly?
Yeah, I know.
That's weird.
He said a few minutes later, Phil posted another tweet saying, "All good. See you on the ITV This Morning sofa soon then," Philip said. Interesting. And then he gets a job on This Morning. In April 2016, the student started working as a runner on This Morning, aged 20. He had been previously visited the show where he met Holly and Phil for a tour of the studio. Pictures of the trio sitting on the This Morning sofa were shared as the runner thanked Phil for teaching him so much. He also interviewed the presenter in 2015 about his time fronting the award-winning programme, which he loves so much. Then, the runner was pictured with Holly and her husband, Dan, outside the NTAs. In January 2020, the runner was pictured having a brief conversation with Holly outside the NTAs. Then what happened? We've got... So then Phil comes out as gay.
Interesting. How long after?
This was about... Okay, so this was the same year they were at the NTAs together. So Phil comes out as gay. Phil tearfully came out on national television during the This Morning broadcast. We've already discussed that. With the strength and support, blah, 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 this is something that's caused many heartbreaking conversations at home. Blah, 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 Phil. Then we've got Timothy charged with sexual offences. Oh, and then obviously there's the reported feud between Phil and Holly. She's taken all photos off of her Instagram.
Yeah, they don't follow each other anymore. She's taken everything off that Phil it was in... Like photo wise, yeah. And then did you see that she did like a statement before the first kind of show that she came back and presented after all of this scandal without Phil,
right.
And I believe she was with Alison.
Oh yes,
love Alison.
She's great.
She's great.
Have you seen her interview with Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling?
Yes, so funny. Anyway, she did a little statement, and she was like, "Firstly, how are you?" And it was just, and everyone was just like, "Why the fuck is she talking to us? Like, we're personally affected."
I know.
Like, we're in school. She's like, "How are you doing?" "I'm not great. I bet you guys are feeling the same way that I am. Disappointed, let down, betrayed." Sorry?
Sounds like some fucking PSA.
It was so, honestly, it was so weird. It was the weirdest statement ever. And then she goes, "Anyway, so up next today," and it's just like, what?
I think she helped cover it up. We'll get to this later.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Right, so then Phil admits his affair with a younger colleague. Phil confessed he had engaged in a romantic affair with a younger man while married to his wife, Stephanie Lowe, claiming the consensual on-off relationship was unwise but not illegal. He said he was very sorry for the affair. "I did have a consensual on-off relationship with a younger male colleague at This Morning. Contrary to speculation, whilst I met the man when he was a teenager and was asked to help him get into television, it was only after he started to work on the show that it became more than just a friendship. That relationship was unwise but not illegal. It is now over." Then Holly said that Phil lied to her about the affair. "I disagree." Right.
You work on the same set with both of them, Holly.
Mm-hmm.
You would have 100% at some point saw them guys having a little bit of a kiss.
Also,
or something.
They've been best mates for years.
Best friends
they
for
get
years.
They've been drunk on TV together.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna discuss. This sort of thing.
For sure. They've literally.
She saved her own skin.
You know, you look at them two, and they're kind of like Ant and Dec. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, they know everything about each other. They're like best friends. They present together. They get on really, really well. So it just doesn't. I mean, you can keep secrets from people, obviously, but something like that, where the guy that he's having an affair with is also on the same set. I just don't believe it. She would have saw something. She would have heard something.
Oh, yeah.
It was impossible for them to be sneaking around having a relationship and Holly having no idea.
She's saving her own skin. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And do you remember he gave that interview, I think it was for like BBC or The Sun, you know, the one that everyone's made memes out of? And he was like,
"What do you want me to die? Because that's where I am."
Oh, yeah.
But in that one, he tried to do the age-old bloody scapegoat of like, you know, it's because I'm gay or whatever.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't watch it all.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible.
Because he just started vaping.
Yeah.
He started vaping in an interview for the newspaper.
Yeah.
Like, how unprofessional. You're talking about how you want to get your image squeaky clean and you whack out a vape. What are you doing?
I know. And if you are a man that is grooming a boy, it's not because you were gay.
I've certainly learned something. This has nothing to do with being gay. This is just the work of a man who's an extreme sexual deviant. Gay or not.
Thank you, Dennis.
That works perfectly.
I know. And basically, that's where we are now. So he's not been... it's not illegal, so we can't be convicted of anything. But he definitely groomed this young boy. His brother is an actual criminal, and his career lies in tatters on the floor before us.
Yeah, we won't be seeing him on our telly anytime soon.
No. Maybe on, like...
Crime Watch.
Yeah, some white woman's crime podcast, I'm sure. Yeah, but that is the lowdown on Phillip Schofield now for anyone that's...
that needed to know.
That needed to know. Our verdict is that he is a bloody diddler, and that, people should not...
Well, yeah, I mean, diddler to an extent because he's not underage, but he groomed him, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The worst one that's happening at the moment, we'll give our verdict on Phillip first, actually, and then I'll go into this. Because you don't know about this one. You're going to be like, what the F? But,
what the F?
But yeah, so our verdict is he's an absolute diddler. He shouldn't be allowed a career anymore. Holly should not be on This Morning anymore because you definitely covered up for him, as well as other people at ITV that we don't know about.
Please just let Alison Hammond and is it Dermot
O'Leary?
No, is it Dermot O'Leary?
The guy from he presented the X Factor.
Yes,
Dermot O'Leary.
Yeah, them two are a great pair together. They should present it.
Another thing, actually, that told me that Phillip was definitely guilty of sin, and they all knew about it, was that when it was Philip's goodbye episode, all they did was a quick 2 minutes, Dermot and Alison, and were like, Philip, he's been doing it for 22 years or whatever, and now he's gone. Yeah. With a couple pictures of him.
Yeah. And
if
then
they
moved
were
on.
behind him, and if ITV were like, he is innocent or whatever, then there would be a whole 20-minute segment, his best bits, his bloopers.
Philip. 100%.
You know, he's been doing that one show for like 22 years. That's a long time. I think it's 22. Might be longer.
Savage, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's guilty as sin.
His hands are red. Is that the phrase? Caught red hand.
No, there's. Well, if you've murdered someone, there's blood on your hands. But I mean, he's not.
No, but what's? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, tell me this other thing.
Right. So there is a Hollywood actor called Ezra Miller. Have you heard of this name?
Ezra Miller, no.
That's what he looks like. Right?
Okay. Now,
he, although no, it's not he because he's non-binary.
Okay.
So it's they.
They,
so
them.
They. If I slip on this, audience, I apologise.
Cancel him.
Please don't cancel me. But we need to find his criminal controversies and legal issues. There's multiple paragraphs. Look at all of the paragraphs of stuff he's done.
What has he done?
So basically, some of the stuff he's done. So he has slapped a woman on camera. It was filmed just randomly, and I think he strangled a woman and threw her to the ground. This was in 2020, and then in 2022 he went to Hawaii. And he was the subject of 10 calls to the police because of various minor incidents, such as filming people, loitering, arguing, and eventually they lived at a hostel. And what happened was there was a physical altercation there, as there's some other assault-related things. But there was, where was it? So he was guilty of second-degree assault in Hawaii.
Right.
And then basically there was this... he ended up hanging out with this 18-year-old, and he went to this house, and he holed up in this house with like a baby and a family, and he locked them in there, and he had guns all in the house. And he basically had this like family, like semi-hostage in this house with all these
Just
guns.
a random family?
Yeah, in Hawaii. There was a baby there amongst these guns. And he was also burglaring people as well. And basically, there's a movie out right now called The Flash, which I have no interest in seeing.
Oh, is that on out in the cinema?
Yes, it is.
I saw that a minute ago.
Yeah. And he is the main character in it. He is the Flash, right?
Oh, he's...
Yeah,
okay.
but all of these crimes that he committed was after he filmed this while they were editing the movie. So after he's filmed it, he's like, I'm just going to go on a crime spree, right? And I'm going to assault women. I'm going to burgle houses. I'm going to leave guns around babies.
Why did they do that?
I don't, because he's obviously mentally unstable. Because they're obviously mentally unstable. Thank you for correcting me, T. I'm really bad at this.
You're really bad. You've done it so many times.
I'm so sorry. And I'm really sorry, Ezra the criminal. But basically, they is allowed on the red carpet, and and they are going to the premiere, yes. And some of the directors are talking about his future in the franchise or whatever. And I'm like, how is this person allowed to make any more films?
So they haven't been arrested for this?
I think he's got like court dates coming up and things like that. Or, you know, they've come to settlements and things.
But they didn't kill
They didn't kill anyone.
They didn't kill anyone. But how long?
They just assaulted multiple people.
How long did they keep them hostage?
I think it was at least like a week or something like that. It was in this house
just
in Hawaii.
for the fun of it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I don't know in depth. We might be able to go in depth on a further episode.
My gosh. And now they're in the main character in the movie.
Yep, and they're just on...
And they're not going to do anything about it.
Nope. No, and what's really annoyed me is...
That's just power. He's probably just done it for power. Mm-hmm. Because he's got the power now, and he that's exactly why he's done it. Like, they've done it. Like, the time frame you've just explained, they filmed it.
Yes.
Then they decided to go and do this rampage.
Yes.
Before the movies come out.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's the perfect timing to do it, and now they're getting away with it.
What's upset me particularly is that the Flash movie is a DC movie. Now, DC is a company like Marvel, but they have like Batman and Superman.
I always thought DC and Marvel were the same company.
No, they're not.
Completely different apparently.
James Gunn, the director and maker of Guardians of the Galaxy, he is now the CEO of DC.
Yes.
So he's had a banger of a year.
Yeah.
He's got married to his gorgeous wife, and he's become the CEO of DC.
Yeah.
And he's I don't know if he's doing it just to save face at the moment, but he's one of those people where his only comment on it was, we'll evaluate our relationship with this person in the future. Like, that's all he said. Like, what he should be saying is, there won't be any more films with this person.
Yeah, but there's nothing to evaluate.
Yeah.
There's nothing to evaluate.
I'm really disappointed in him.
Yeah.
Which has upset me. But
the thing is, even though he's CEO, he still has to make decisions have to go for everyone else, no? Or does he make the final decision? He's
joint CEO with a man called Peter Safran. And so basically, they do all of the decision making. So James Gunn is involved in the major decision making.
So did a CEO leave DC for him to be promoted, or did he just get promoted to help this other guy?
I believe the CEO wanted to leave, and obviously there was a process, and they were like, I think these are the best people for the job.
Okay.
I have a feeling that James Gunn is only saying we'll evaluate his position because the movie's still out in cinemas. And they're promoting
They want to get money.
So I feel like
true.
Once the film is done in cinemas, I don't think we're going to see him again.
Is he a good actor? Is Ezra a good actor?
He's all right. Everything.
How long has he been on the scene? How long have they been on the scene? Because I've not seen him.
I don't think he's not been in anything that you've. But they've not been in anything that you've seen.
I don't recognise them.
I'll see. Has he got his filmography on here? I mean, will do. Filmography. So he was in The Flash. He was in Fantastic Beasts, which you've not seen.
Nope.
How
old is Ezra?
He is.
Let me guess. 31.
Oh, he's 30. They are 30.
Oh, woohoo! That's quite young.
He was in the first Suicide Squad as a cameo role as the Flash. But that's basically it. All he's been in is basically Fantastic Beasts and these DC movies of note. And
they've probably potentially, hopefully, fucked the rest of their career now.
Yep, and I don't think we're going to see him in anything else.
I hope so. Also, speaking of other people that are a disappointment, Miranda sings.
Oh yes! Now we could do a whole episode.
We can do a whole episode,
and we are running out of time. So we will.
I just wanted a nose drop. No, what's it called?
Name drop.
Name. What is wrong with me
Nose
today?
drop.
What is wrong with me today? I wanted to name drop, so get excited because
Yeah.
I used to watch her, and I am
Terrible,
so
isn't it?
shocked.
Sending panties to
Oh.
an underage boy.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely vile.
So we're going to take a short break, and then we are going to be getting to a brand new segment called The People's Verdict.
I'm going for a wee. Good times.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. So we got a brand new segment today. It's always good to change up the show. This segment is called...
Would I lie to you?
No.
I love that show.
Oh, no, it's very good. Bob Mortimer slays on that program.
I've never heard you say slaves.
I'm trying to be down with the kids, you know. So this segment, we don't have a jingle for it, but it is called The People's Verdict. Ooh. Right. So T has recently started a job as long-haul cabin crew. Now, long-haul cabin crew means that you stay away in places, doesn't it?
For a long, long time.
It feels like a long time when she's away, I can tell you now. But what places have you been to so far?
New York,
Mm-hmm.
Washington, D.C., and I'm on my way to San Francisco tomorrow.
Yes, yes. So, what I thought we'd do is there's some locations that you have been to. We're doing New York today. And I thought we would find and judge and laugh at some people's reviews of these famous landmarks in New York.
Perfect. I love that.
And we will also get your review of them as well. I've not been to either of the three landmarks that we're going to be talking about today. So basically what I've done is I've gone on Google and gone to the reviews, and I've had a right laugh, and I found some that people have written. Okay? Genuine people have written these as reviews. So the first one is Times Square. Now, Sweet Tea, how many times have you been to Times Square?
Times Square.
Yeah, Times Square.
Times Square.
Times Square.
Times Square.
Times Square.
There's no S.
Yes, there is. There's two S's.
Yeah, as in it's Times Square. I don't think people pronounce it as Times Square. Look
Right.
how much longer that is to say.
No, I completely get you, but could you give me your review review of
I've been
Times
to
Square?
Times Square
Yeah.
twice.
Okay, and your thoughts?
Ridiculous place.
Okay, how many stars out of 5?
3.5.
Okay, 3.5 stars out of 5. And what did you, apart from ridiculous, can you expand on what was ridiculous about
I
it?
personally
Mhm.
don't see what the big deal is and why
Got
it's
it.
so like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just shops, right, with these neon lights and these signs, and it looks cool, like, at night, don't get me wrong, because everything's all lit up.
Mm.
And you've got, like, these red stairs that looks onto the view, but everybody is there taking
Right.
pictures. It's busy. You've got street dancers, you've got people walking around in costumes, like someone in, like, a pink Mario suit, a clown outfit. It just doesn't make any sense, but it's accepted in this place for some reason. It's like it's one half of New York that it's like, oh yeah, it's a free for all. You've got people having parrots and snakes around their necks. Like, what is going on? It's so loud. Yeah, and I went there when I was so tired, so like it just was not the vibe. And the first
I knew you were going to say vibe.
and the first time I went there, it was with school. So again, wasn't really the vibe. So maybe I haven't experienced it like properly, but from my experience, I don't see how I can experience it any better than I have. Experience.
You've sold it to me well. So
Thank you.
3 to 3.5 stars for T.
Yeah.
Too busy. Right, so Elizabeth Limonta, now she is classed as a Google local guide, which means she's done enough reviews that she's got like a star on her profile. So she is
Wow.
legit.
Okay.
And she's voted Times Square as 1 star. And she is simply put, turn off the billboards.
To be fair,
Yeah?
yeah, it's probably wasting so much electricity,
It's
and
gotta
taxpayers are paying for that.
Mm. Okay, so you're in line with her review.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see how anyone can disagree with that.
Okay, Nikita Sisman, another Google local guide, just put 3 stars. Too much people.
Yep, too much people is another way of saying it's busy. Yeah.
Yep. it's a grammatically incorrect way of saying it.
It is. Very much so.
Rena Sharma, she had a complete opposite brew. She's given it 5 stars.
Wow.
Glowing review.
She fucking loved it.
Yeah. Now listen to this in-depth analysis of her
I
glowing
can see
review
it's
of Times
not.
Square.
Go on.
Times Square, where you feel the time. 5 stars.
You're joking. Times Square, where you feel. What
Right.
does that even mean?
If someone told me that they feel the time, I imagine they're meaning this is going fucking slow. This is
Yeah.
boring. I'm really feeling the time here. But she's gone, it's boring. You feel the time go by so slowly. I love it. 5 stars.
Yeah.
That's what she
weird.
said.
That
Yeah.
is so bizarre.
So those are the reviews I've managed to get for Times Square. Now, the next one that I know that you went to visit was Grand Central Station. Mm-hmm. Now, what is your review of Grand Central Station?
Grand Central Station is nice. It's absolutely huge. I mean, the wall art is stunning.
There's wall art, is there?
Yeah. They're like, there's. I can't remember what it is. It's
Like stained glass windows?
No, it is something. The constellation, like
Right.
the stars and stuff. So it
Yeah.
looks really beautiful, and I always find stuff like that fascinating. Like in churches and stuff, when people have the time and the patience to paint things, like that's so impressive. And obviously, it was in Gossip Girl, and I loved Gossip Girl.
XOXO.
XOXO. So when I
Yep.
went there, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like Blake Lively was here, so I like that place.
How often did she go there in the show? I don't remember.
It's the opening scene, and obviously there's probably other clips. I can't really remember.
Right.
I don't know the average.
It's in quite a few films. It's featured very heavily in the first Madagascar movie.
Oh.
Yes.
But again, it is quite weird that like a train station, there's literally so many tourists about like taking pictures and stuff. Like it is quite funny.
Yeah. Because all the train stations in the UK just look like bollocks, don't they?
Yeah, it is a bit shit. But it is gorgeous. It is a nice train station. So I don't know, I'd say like 4. It's better than
4
Times
stars.
Square. I'd rather sit in Grand Central Station than Times Square.
Okay. So Josiah Freeman gave it a 1 star.
Oh no, she's not happy.
Yeah. I think this is a he,
Oh,
Josiah.
sorry. He's not happy. Can't assume.
Worst place ever. Don't go. My mum made me go, and I lost 6 hours of playing Fortnite.
What the hell are they doing in Grand Central Station for 6 hours?
Yeah, I know. I can only assume it's the train journey as well. This next one is by far one of my favourite reviews because it is just so strongly worded. Laura Horowitz, a Google local guide, so respected reviews.
Yeah, she knows
from
her
Laura
stuff.
Horowitz, 1 star.
Right.
Was not a fan of Grand Central Station.
Okay.
She said, packed with people and no air conditioning. The store is selling warm drinks for $3 and $4. This city has truly gone to hell.
Wow, the passion.
I know.
Damn, Laura.
Yeah.
Is it Laura?
It is Laura
That's
Horowitz.
Damn.
Did you have any of these problems in your sense?
I didn't buy anything when I was there, but I can imagine it being expensive. Yes, because obviously it's a tourist spot, and I mean New York in general is so expensive. It definitely, in comparison to when I went to Washington, like the price difference is insane.
When you walked in there, did you go, I'm literally in the 7th circle of hell here at this
No,
station?
and it wasn't busy, and it wasn't ridiculously hot. Like I didn't really notice like air conditioning. Like I mean, obviously there's tubes and stuff. Like there is a subway and an underground, whatever they call it there. I don't know, but
It's either called like
I think it's a
subway
subway,
or metro or something.
Metro,
like
yeah.
that.
But it's obviously that's boiling hot, but that's the same in central London. So like I'm used to that.
Yeah. Jess Figura, 1 star. Again, another passionate woman. She's gone, worst location on earth. Poor and rude customer service. This location is the reason I've stopped going altogether. So, like, Al-Qaeda infested cave, the Sahara Desert, Grand Central Station is the worst place on earth.
Well, I'm sorry to say that I enjoyed it, Jess. I am sorry to say that.
Yeah.
I clearly like awful places.
There's a guy, and for some reason their username is called A New Day. They gave it 1 star and said, can't see the clock. And that's it.
Is that right? Okay.
Did you have any trouble seeing the clock?
Not that I recall. I don't know.
Right. We've got
No, I don't really think it affected my time.
No, it didn't. It
No.
affected
Affected
a new
his.
days
Damn.
so much. And then our final review for
Is there a better review than 1 star?
Grand Central Station. Well, this is a glowing review of
Okay.
Grand Central Station. Juan Martinez said, despite so many years, it's like new. Just amazing. I love travelling on this line. 1 star.
I had the best day. It was amazing. Thank you so much. 1 out of 10.
Yeah. Right. So the final location
dear.
in New York, I know this is not one that you've been to recently, but I know that you've been, which is the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
So if you can cast your mind back to when you went back in school.
I didn't go onto the island.
Right.
I just went on a boat trip around the island.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen the Statue of Liberty up close.
But from far
Like,
away, how
but
did
I've
you
seen-
like it?
Fun fact, I don't even know if you knew this. Before I went on this school trip, and I was so scared of the Statue of Liberty.
What?
I was
Why?
so scared. Like I was telling all of my friends at school that I just didn't want to go on the boat trip. Like I did not like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I did not like the way that it looked. It freaked me out. I thought it was quite a scary looking statue.
Mm.
And then people thought, oh, we'll show you a picture of it, what it looked like before it went green, because obviously
It was bronze.
It was bronze.
Yeah.
That scared me more. Like that is, if you look up pictures, it's quite terrifying. And
Carry on.
I thought it was quite big, right? And I'm not scared of heights, but I've got like this weird phobia of looking at tall buildings.
Oh,
Like I feel a
right,
bit
yeah.
like sick to my stomach. Like, look at that. That's quite creepy, no? Because it's not like the statue's smiling.
No, she doesn't smile, does she?
No.
No.
So it might be an unpopular opinion, but I wasn't looking forward to seeing the Statue of Liberty. Since
enough.
then, I have developed and realised that it's not that scary, and I now have a top with the Statue of Liberty on, and I don't get
You
freaked
do,
out every time
yeah.
I wear it. So that's good. That's development.
Do you know that it was a gift from the French?
I do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. But yeah, so I'm interested to see these reviews. Long story
Yeah.
short.
So, wait, how many stars are you giving it then?
I
4?
don't know, like 4, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Huang Jeff, 1 star. Not only special statue, but also good museum for tourists. However, the cafe let me get very bad experience due to clerk mistaking queuing sequence.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry you had that experience.
Yes,
That's not nice. I mean, Americans aren't very good at queuing. It's more of a British thing.
I just loved the way that he phrased it. The cafe let me get very bad experience.
Because of the clerk.
yeah.
I've never heard them be called. Well, I have, but like
I know.
very rarely they get called clerks.
Gcast has given it 1 star, and
Oh.
they said purchase tickets to go in advance if you have a crystal ball to let you know it's open. Also, hope and pray you can get one of their 50 bootleg lockers where 5 of them work. Otherwise, great place to visit. Now that man is British. I can tell you from that
Yep.
review
Yep.
that is a British
Yep.
man.
Yeah, that is an
This is-
angry British
Yeah.
male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that review, I was like, I'm adding that because he's so English.
Yeah, I really want to go on the island.
Oh, so do I. Yes.
Yeah, I've not done that, so
I want to go to the main reasons I want to go to New York is I want to go on that island and I want to visit the 9/11 museum.
yeah, I
Ground-
really
Ground
want to go to
Zero.
the 9/11 museum. Mm-hmm.
Jackson Wagner gave it 1 star. He put, the entire statue is one colour. I'm pro colours and I'd like to see a variety of them in any statue I look
Stop.
at. And I gotta say, out of all of the colours they could have chosen, they choose some weird punk green, which was like one of the worst possible options.
No. We were literally just discussing why it was
I know.
That is
Yeah.
so funny. He can't be serious. I'm pro colours. Who says that they're pro colours?
I know.
He must be messing about. That's too funny. Also, all statues are normally just one colour anyway. It's normally just one material.
Yeah, I know. The man is a fool.
Yeah.
Tom Proctor also gave it 1 star. He said, books not free. What means library if not freedom?
He needs a book. He
He
needs a
does.
dictionary.
Yeah, he really does. He really does.
Wow.
Cam gave it 1 star. It was terrible. My family and I saw rats coming from out her torch and falling onto the
What?
tourists. Avoid at all costs.
saw rats. Where?
Falling out of her torch. So in the air, rats were falling out onto tourists, apparently.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's insane if that's true. I mean, to be fair, there probably is rats in the torch. Yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
Why not?
Jordan J, 1 star. I'm scared of heights. I didn't know how tall it was. I had to get help from those hot firemen.
That's brilliant.
I know.
Even if it's fake, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Someone called Your Mum,
Oh.
1 star. It's a statue in a city, nothing special, lol. Just because it's the USA, it's famous, bruh. That's the...
Right, okay.
Do you agree with that sentiment?
No, we've got the Eiffel Tower that isn't in the USA, and that is very famous. Some would argue more famous.
I think statistically it's the most famous
It is
landmark
because it's very, very... It's known everywhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So, pipe down. He's obviously he had a very bad day, and he wanted to take it out on something.
Yep.
So he took it out on the Statue of Liberty.
Hussam Shaguri has said, my experience and my visit is very beautiful and wonderful. I wish it to every lover and to all people. Beautiful views, wonderful people, restaurants, and everything you need is there. Safe and secure. 1 star.
Do you know what? I knew the 1 star was coming. Oh my god, that is the most wholesome, cutest review. And he's fucked it at the end. Oh, no.
Yeah. Right, and finally...
Do they know how reviews work?
Obviously not, no.
Oh, bless them.
And finally, my favourite, Matthew Moed, 1 star. Horrible place. There's a giant blue lady photobombing all my pictures.
That one's brilliant.
There you go. So that was our new segment, The People's Verdict. So tune in the coming weeks when we have more places that T or I have visited to check the reviews on. Now, finally...
You can do the reviews on the flat, James.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, the Airbnb next to us.
I bet because you're always in. Love.
Oh, I see. Mean.
No.
And my voice just broke.
Mean.
Mean. Right, so finally, just before we end the show, we are going to do some courting with James. So cue the jingle. Now, this first one, we'll do 1 or 2. Okay, I've got 4 prepared, but we're going a bit over time. But we've been away for a while, so I think we can go a little bit longer. So now this first one, am I the arsehole for not giving my husband a single hour off on Father's Day?
Do you need to go on? Yes, you
now,
are.
Actually, I do, because she was branded the arsehole in this. But there was some fierce debate.
Oh.
Which I'll get into with you. This is why I wanted to bring this one on the show.
Bring this one to my attention.
Yes, so my husband, 36 male, and I, 33 female, have been married for 8 years and have 3 kids. 5, 3, and a 1-month-old infant. So a really young baby.
Right.
I am currently still recovering from my planned C-section, and it is taking a lot longer. Could you pass me my Coke, please? And it's taking a lot longer than I'd hoped. I am not on bed rest, but pretty darn close. Unless it's to go to the bathroom or changing or feeding my baby, I'm pretty much always sitting or laying down. I don't like it, but it's what my body needs to heal right now. Thank you very much. Both my husband and I are still on maternity/paternity leave.
Right.
So she's had a C-section, which is quite the ordeal
not
on
nice.
a woman's body from what I heard. So she sat down most of the time. Obviously, that means that pretty much every other aspect of our lives falls on my husband right now. He's been doing a great job of taking care of the older kids and making sure everything in our lives is running as smoothly as it can, given our circumstances. He's also great about taking care of the baby and giving me breaks as much as he can, but I can tell it's starting to wear on him mentally and physically.
Of course.
Neither of us is sleeping well, and I swear he looks like he's lost more weight than I have since the baby came.
Probably because he's running around so much.
Mm-hmm. Due to me being pretty much immobile, I can't really go out of the house to do anything without assistance, so I wasn't able to plan anything really fun for Father's Day. I did help the older kids make him cards and ordered him some nice steaks to cook, though. I felt bad.
So I got you some steaks. You got to cook them though.
Yes. I felt bad because for Mother's Day, he bought me a 6-hour pregnancy spa treatment and took the older kids out of the house all day so I could have peace. Yeah.
Take notes, James.
Yeah, I
wow.
know. Yeah, and took the older kids out of the house all day so I could have peace. But on the morning of Father's Day, I was feeling worse than usual as I had to strain myself the day before to pick up something off the floor, and I aggravated my indecision. So I was laid up all day. Again, this meant my husband had to do literally everything that day. By the time he got the older kids to bed, I could tell he was irritated and upset. I told him to try and relax for a bit, but then the baby started fussing, and he jumped off the couch, grabbed a pillow, and screamed into it. I tried to calm him down, but he just kept freaking out about how he's at his wit's end, and he needs a break, and that I couldn't even find a way to give him a single hour of quiet on Father's Day. I started crying, and he just looked at me and walked away to take care of the baby without saying anything. After he took care of the baby, he came back to me and apologised, but he said he needs a break, and he's going to talk to family about taking the older kids for a week or so, and that he's just disappointed that his Father's Day was spent running around doing everything for everyone else. He didn't even get to cook his steaks. He ate cold pizza for dinner. I asked him what I was supposed to do because it's not like I can move or leave the house, and he said I could have looked into a sitter for the kids or made them sit with me and watch a movie for an hour so he could have just a sliver of time to himself. He said he feels like his needs are at the bottom of the list and he just wanted to feel like he matters for one day. What do you think?
Okay, honestly, my opinion is, it's funny because I was like, you don't need to go on. I think she's an arsehole. It's a really awkward situation because I see both perspectives.
Now,
I see exactly where he's coming from. She definitely could have tried harder to try and give him some time. And yeah, finding a sitter. However, I don't think she did not do that to be malicious. She probably just genuinely didn't think of that because of her state. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, but this is where there were arguments in the comments and stuff, because obviously there are people saying, like, her state at the moment, obviously she sat down and everything. The amount of stuff that you can get done online at the moment while you're sat on your phone is astronomical. Yeah. And she was the one that ordered cold steaks for him to cook. When she was thinking that in her brain, did she not think, how about instead I'll order us all some takeaway so he doesn't have to do any cooking?
Yeah, true.
And we can all eat that.
Yeah.
That was one that she should not have missed.
That's true.
And also, yeah, she forgot to do it, but from being sat down, you could call a sitter and say, could you look after some kids?
No, this is what I'm saying. I agree with what he's saying, but also what I generally think that because she cried straight away, I generally feel like she hasn't done this deliberately.
I know, but then
she's genuinely just not thought about it.
Get that, but also if he's at his wit's end and he's come to her and said, I'm at my wit's end, I can't carry on anymore, I've done everything, and she's just starts crying, she's just instantly made the situation about herself. Which is not fair.
Yeah.
And but
she's crying because she feels bad.
He said he feels his needs are at the bottom of the list. Now that bit, they are. And to a certain extent, they should be, because obviously the mum, the kids, him, understand that. But, like, I saw a saying the other day, what was it? It said, the Huskies aren't going to pull the sled if you starve them. He's the one keeping them all together. Mm-hmm. If he's not given some sort of morale boost or something to make him feel better, then everyone in that family is going to suffer.
Yeah.
Because he's the one handling everything.
Yeah.
So I think she's really dropped the ball there.
Yeah.
And
but you know, if I'm completely honest, this might be controversial and it might be mean. It's not that deep. It's really not. It's just Father's Day, right? And she is going to learn from that, and she's probably now found time for him.
Yeah.
And she's learnt from it, and she's probably rectified herself, and he's probably having some nice time to himself, and after all this, hopefully she can treat him to a holiday or something. But I think the main reason he's upset is because of what day it was.
Yeah.
But realistically...
I think it was more that he wants a break, and he's hoping that day was a chance for a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, if you don't celebrate Father's Day, you don't celebrate Father's Day. If you don't celebrate Valentine's Day, you don't celebrate Valentine's Day. That kind of the event of the day shouldn't be the deal here. Do you know what I mean? I think just the fact that he's going through this right now is what should be focused on, not what day of the week it was.
Yeah. Someone said, unless you left it out, you didn't even console your husband. He broke down in front of you after weeks, maybe months of doing a lot on his own. Your only response was, well, what was I supposed to do? You are a recovering mother, which everyone should understand, but I've spent 30 seconds reading this and already thought, why didn't she coordinate with a friend or family member to take the kids for a portion of the day?
Yeah.
That takes bare minimum effort and shows how you can care for your man on his day during this period where he's been getting the job done. Hindsight is 20/20, but again, you're the arsehole.
Yeah.
I just find it so strange that her thought process was, yeah, we'll order some steaks that he can cook.
Yeah.
I don't get why our thing was, right, Papa John's, let's do this.
Yeah, I know. Maybe because his favourite is steak, but then even so, she should have
still delivery from a restaurant some steaks.
Yeah, if she really wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I do think that she definitely could have given it more thought. It did feel like she probably just rushed the thoughts.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of her situation, but yeah.
And we're going to do one more. I'll save the others for next time. So now this one is, am I the arsehole for going on a camping trip without my boyfriend?
That makes you an arsehole for going on a camping trip without me. No, it doesn't take because you invited and you were at work. Yeah, I know, I was only joking. I was just...
Thanks for that. That really added to the conversation here. Okay, so last week, I, female, 25, and my boyfriend, Henry, male, 29, were invited on a 3-day camping trip by some of our friends. Mike, 24, John, 26, Beth, 22, Jack, 27, Sarah, 25. So
is this relevant?
I know. So there's a mixture of men
ages.
and women here.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And ages, yeah.
Cool.
We had agreed that this trip would be tech-free. So throughout the entire trip, we kept our phones switched off.
Crazy.
I've always loved the great outdoors, and so does Henry. He was really excited to go, but the night before the trip, he caught a terrible flu and couldn't join us. On the morning of the trip, Henry asked if I would stay back with him, but I told him it would be rude if we both cancelled. He complained a little, expressing his concern about me going alone, but I told him he was acting childish and left for the trip. Thoughts so far, T?
I'm really struggling today with my thoughts. I think...
You conflicted, are you?
I am a little bit conflicted because just because he's ill now doesn't mean she can't go, right?
No.
But then, she didn't need to call him childish.
No. I feel like your opinion's going to change when you hear more.
Okay, carry on.
The trip was an absolute blast.
Oh,
it
gosh.
felt like we were kids again. We played hide and seek, swam, and caught up with each other.
Now who's being childish?
Yep. Here we go. I always enjoyed spending time with Jack, as I hadn't seen him
Stop.
in nearly a year, and we were very close friends.
Oh, no.
Being an expert swimmer, Jack taught me, a relative novice, a few different swimming techniques, and since both of us were responsible for the food, I showed him some of my cooking skills. As a group, we enjoyed the trip so much that we decided to extend it by a day. Now,
Stop it.
remember that the boyfriend is ill at home. The camping trip is tech-free, and they've extended it by a day. So think about the implications of that for a minute.
Oh, my
okay?
gosh.
When it was time to return to town, Jack drove and dropped me off at my apartment. We hung out for a few hours, and then he went home. So Jack drove and dropped me off at my apartment. So they then hung out at her apartment for a few hours, her and this Jack.
No.
After he left, I realised that I had forgotten to turn my phone back on throughout the entire trip.
No.
When I finally did, I saw that Henry had left me several messages asking where I was.
I'm not surprised.
So her boyfriend is ill at home. He wanted to go on this trip.
Oh my
she
God.
hasn't messaged him the entire time.
Oh my gosh.
And extended it by a day.
She's a fucking asshole.
I called him and asked if something had gone wrong, but he said that he hadn't been able to reach me for an entire day, and he was getting worried. I explained the trip to him, but he wasn't happy about the amount of time I had spent with Jack.
Oh my God.
I told him he was experiencing FOMO and was upset because of that. He then expressed that he would have preferred if I'd stayed with him instead of going on the trip. I was really annoyed at this point, so I told him that he was a nearly 30-year-old man and didn't need someone to nurse him like a toddler. I then hung up on him. He sent me an apology text and voicemail saying he was sorry.
No, he doesn't need to apologise.
But that I was being too rigid. I didn't respond to these messages either. When I told Beth about Henry's strange behaviour, she said that I was being mean to him.
Oh, yes, Beth. Go on, Beth.
She said, for everyone saying I abandoned my boyfriend, I didn't. It's impossible to abandon an adult. He's a grown-ass man. Grown-ass man should be able to take care of themselves regardless of what society says about women need to fulfill their role.
Hang about. So if a grown-ass man walks out on his wife and his children because he's a dickhead and he doesn't want to raise kids and doesn't want to be married anymore, whatever the reason is that they walk out, that isn't abandonment because they're fully grown. That's the attitude she's got there.
I know.
What the fuck?
There's been an update, which wasn't here when I put this story in the show notes.
No, seriously, I need a second.
Okay, so you're branding her the arsehole.
She is a fucking arsehole. And obviously, now I've changed my tune, yes. But I just realised, why would she want to go on a 3-day, no-tech camping trip without her boyfriend anyway?
She's into Jack.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So now, when you mentioned Jack, I was like, that's the fucking reason.
But what some people have said in the comments, and is really true, if you've got a group of people that have gone out for a camping trip, you haven't heard from them for 3 days because that's how long the camping trip is, and then you also haven't heard from any of them for a whole extra day, you could call the police.
Yeah, you should,
because they could be missing.
You would have called the police by now.
Yeah. So Henry was full in his rights to call the authorities because his girlfriend
100%.
Was it of 8 years or was it 3 years? It doesn't say how long the relationship was.
How old is she?
He's
29.
29. She is 25.
Right.
Yeah. So he would have been well in his rights to call the authorities because they could all be missing and dead.
Yeah, literally. That's the first thing that I thought of. If you're not going to... it's no tech, but if you're staying for an extra day, you need to drop a text and say, staying an extra day.
Yeah. She's been branded the arsehole by everyone, and she's given an update. She said, I spoke with Jack on the phone today.
Oh, fuck off!
He called to check in on me and ask how Henry was doing. He felt bad that Henry couldn't make it and suggested that I should apologise and accept his apology. He also mentioned that he was probably quite sick if he was making such a ruckus. I asked if he wanted to hang out today, but he felt that he shouldn't spend too much time together as it might make Henry feel more left out.
Jack, you are lovely. You are very sensible and wise. A little bit too fucking late, but...
She then said, I do plan on calling Henry later and accepting his apology, not apologising herself,
not that
like
she needs
Jack
to,
suggested.
Yeah, not that she needs to, not that he needs to apologise anyway.
But I will let him know that I was bothered by his insistence that I nurse him or constantly check in on him. Also, right, I'm sorry, but even if it was a tech-free camping trip, now that your boyfriend is ill and can't go, I feel like she should have sent him a couple texts or like a phone call while they were away.
Now, I'm not being funny. That's like breakup kind of behaviour.
I honestly think so, because she obviously does not give a single shit
about him. No.
about this man.
She hasn't even gone. She goes to her apartment, invites Jack over. The first thing you should want to do and should do is go to your fucking boyfriend's apartment that is ill and see if he's okay and explain the fact that you're on a no-tech trip and that you stayed an extra day and you're sorry you didn't communicate with that. And then that could have been rectified. No.
Also, how do you not realise you've been not been near your phone?
I realised my phone's been off for 4 days.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I just suddenly had the realisation, I've not replied to any messages and my phone's not been on for 4 days.
That's coming to the realisation that she has a boyfriend that she needs to communicate with.
Not only that...
After Jack left.
She didn't realise it until they've been at the apartment for multiple hours with Jack.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Probably
saying.
fucking.
Exactly. I'm saying she didn't realise... She remembered she had a boyfriend after Jack left. She's like, oh, now I'm bored. Oh, wait, I have one. Let's turn my phone on.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible. Despicable woman. You are the arsehole. I'm sorry for this car alarm. I don't know if everyone can hear it outside.
It's really adding to our anger right now.
It is, yeah. But, right, so we've got 2 arseholes on today's Caught with James.
Both women.
Yeah, I know. I did actually, when I was writing the show notes, I was like, I need to find one where the arsehole was a man or something like that, but I actually couldn't find one. It was majority women today. So, sorry, girls.
Women are more of an arsehole in the summer.
What makes you think that? that?
It's a statistic
Is it actually?
in my brain, yeah.
Okay, right. Fair enough. And
I
with
think
that,
so. No, I do. I generally think that women are fucking bitches more in the summer than they are in the winter.
the heat's getting to them. Is that what you think?
I think women struggle with the heat more than men.
Fair dues.
So
Fair
we're
enough.
just so ratty, moody, snappy, horrible, mean,
Fair enough.
all of the rest.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Mm.
So
You're speaking for the female race here.
speaking for the female race, yeah.
Cool. Fair enough. And I accept your apology on behalf of all women.
Thank you.
That's all right. And with that, we're going to end today's comeback episode of Court Case. We hope you guys enjoyed the show, the extended show, and we will hopefully see you very soon with more episodes. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Bye.